The first and most crucial step in the process of rebuilding yourself is acknowledging what's broken, and that's not always an easy thing to do. It requires a deep level of honesty with yourself, a willingness to sit with the discomfort of realizing that certain aspects of your life are no longer functioning the way they should. Whether it's an area of your personal life, your professional ambitions, or even your own internal dialogue, you have to be brave enough to admit that something isn't working. This acknowledgement can be painful because it forces you to face the fact that things aren't as they should be, that the life you thought was solid might have cracks in its foundation, that the dreams you once held so dear may have faded or shifted into something unrecognizable. But the truth is, if you don't acknowledge what's broken, you cannot fix it, you cannot move forward, and you certainly cannot rebuild. It's human nature to want to avoid discomfort, to shy away from confronting the parts of our lives that feel out of place. Often we distract ourselves, we tell ourselves that it's not that bad, that things will get better on their own, or we simply keep ourselves busy so that we don't have to sit in the stillness of that realization. But rebuilding starts with acceptance, with looking at your life honestly and asking yourself the difficult questions. What is no longer serving you? What habits are holding you back? What relationships are draining your energy instead of nurturing your spirit? Where have you settled for less than you deserve? You must take a step back and survey the landscape of your life with clear eyes. It's like standing in front of a house that's been ravaged by a storm. Before you can rebuild, you need to assess the damage, understand where the weak points are, and be willing to tear down what can no longer stand. Acknowledging what's broken also means letting go of the illusions we cling to. We often hold on to a version of ourselves or our lives that no longer reflects our current reality, a version that's safe, familiar, but outdated. We stay in jobs that don't fulfill us, in relationships that no longer serve our highest good, or we continue patterns of thinking that keep us stuck. But those illusions only keep us trapped in a cycle of stagnation. To rebuild, you have to be willing to strip away the layers of denial and face the truth, no matter how uncomfortable or inconvenient it may be. It's about coming to terms with the fact that not everything is working, and that's okay, because acknowledging what's broken is the first step towards fixing it, towards creating something new, something better. It takes a great deal of courage to admit when something in your life has broken down. It's not about blaming yourself or anyone else, it's simply about being honest with yourself. Maybe it's your health that has taken a back seat while you've been busy taking care of everyone else. Maybe it's your mental and emotional well-being that has been neglected because you've been too focused on external success. Or maybe it's your passion that's been dimmed by years of doing what's expected of you instead of what truly lights you up. Whatever it is, acknowledging it is the first step towards reclaiming your power. Because once you've acknowledged what's broken, you can begin to put the pieces back together in a way that serves you better, in a way that builds a stronger, more resilient version of yourself. Sometimes what's broken is not something external, but something within us. It's the limiting beliefs we've adopted over the years, the doubts and fears that have taken root in our minds, the stories we tell ourselves about why we can't or shouldn't strive for more. These internal barriers can be just as destructive as any external circumstance, and they often go unnoticed because they become so ingrained in our thinking. But until you acknowledge these mental and emotional blocks, they will continue to sabotage your progress. It's about recognizing that maybe you've been holding yourself back, maybe you've been playing small to avoid failure or rejection, maybe you've been settling for less because deep down you don't believe you deserve more. Whatever the case may be, you must acknowledge these internal obstacles if you're going to rebuild yourself from the inside out. Acknowledging what's broken isn't about dwelling on the negative or feeling sorry for yourself. It's about taking responsibility for your life and your choices, understanding that while you may not have control over everything that happens to you, you do have control over how you respond to it. It's about empowering yourself to make the changes necessary to rebuild, to take what's broken and use it as the foundation for something even stronger, something more aligned with who you truly are and who you're meant to become. Letting go is one of the most challenging yet transformative steps in the journey of rebuilding yourself. And it's often where we meet the greatest resistance. We hold on to the familiar, to the known, to the comfortable, even when those things are no longer serving us, even when they're actively holding us back from becoming the person we're meant to be. There's a certain security in the old, in the habits we've developed, in the roles we've played, in the identities we've crafted over time. But as comforting as it may be to cling to these things, it's important to recognize that growth requires space, and that space can only be created by releasing what's no longer aligned with our highest potential. Releasing the old is an act of courage, an act of faith in the process of transformation. It means trusting that by letting go of what's no longer serving you, you're making room for something new and better to come into your life. But letting go is not easy. It requires us to confront our attachments, to examine why we've been holding on so tightly, and to face the fear of the unknown. We often fear that if we let go of the old, we'll be left with nothing, that the new will never come, or that we won't be able to handle what comes next. But this fear is simply a manifestation of our attachment to the past, to what has been, rather than an accurate reflection of what could be. Think about the relationships that you've outgrown, the ones that once brought you joy and fulfillment, but now feel like a weight around your neck, dragging you down, keeping you from moving forward. Maybe it's a friendship that's become toxic, a relationship that's lost its spark, or a connection that's no longer aligned with your values and goals. It's hard to let go because you remember the good times, the love, the laughter, the shared experiences. But holding on to a relationship that no longer serves you only blocks the energy you need to attract new, healthier connections that will support your growth and evolution. By releasing the old, you open yourself up to the possibility of new relationships that will nurture your spirit and help you become the best version of yourself. The same applies to the habits and behaviors that once served you but now hinder your progress. Perhaps you've developed routines that have become so ingrained in your daily life that they're almost automatic, yet they no longer bring you joy or fulfillment. Maybe it's the habit of staying up late and sacrificing your rest, the habit of procrastination that keeps you from achieving your goals, or the habit of self-doubt that stops you from pursuing your dreams. These habits served a purpose at one time. They provided comfort, they filled a need, they helped you cope. But now they've become chains that keep you bound to a version of yourself that no longer exists. Releasing these habits is difficult because they become a part of who you are. But to create space for new, healthier habits, you must be willing to let go of the old. And what about the stories you've been telling yourself, the narratives you've constructed about who you are, what you're capable of, and what you deserve? These stories have been shaped by your past experiences, by the beliefs you've inherited from others, by the societal expectations that have been imposed upon you. But just because these stories have been with you for a long time doesn't mean they're true, or that they have to continue to define your life. Maybe you've been telling yourself that you're not good enough, that you're not smart enough, that you're not worthy of success or happiness. These stories have kept you small. They've kept you playing it safe. They've kept you stuck in a cycle of self-limitation. But to create a new reality, you must release these old stories and make space for new, empowering beliefs that reflect your true potential. Releasing the old also means letting go of the physical clutter in your life. The objects, the possessions, the material things that you've accumulated over the years, many of which no longer serve a purpose or bring you joy. We often hold on to things because they're tied to memories, to past versions of ourselves, to identities we're reluctant to let go of. But these things can become a burden, weighing you down, keeping you tied to the past, and preventing you from moving forward. By decluttering your physical space, you're also decluttering your mind and your energy, creating a sense of freedom and openness that allows new opportunities to flow into your life. But perhaps the most difficult thing to release is the emotional baggage you've been carrying, the pain, the hurt, the disappointments, the regrets. These emotions have a way of embedding themselves deep within you, influencing your thoughts, your actions, your decisions. It's tempting to hold on to them because they've become so familiar, so much a part of your story. But this emotional baggage is like a heavy weight on your shoulders, making it impossible to rise to your full potential. Releasing these emotions doesn't mean forgetting what happened or pretending it didn't hurt. It means acknowledging the pain, learning from it, and then allowing it to pass through you so that you can heal and move forward. By letting go of the emotional weight you've been carrying, you create space for new positive emotions to take root, for healing to occur, and for joy, love, and peace to enter your life once again. Releasing the old is an ongoing process. It's not something you do once and then it's done. It's something you must continually practice as you grow and evolve. As you move forward in your journey of self-rebuilding, you'll encounter new things that need to be released, new layers of your old self that no longer serve you, new attachments that you must let go of to continue your growth. And each time you release something old, you create more space for the new, for the fresh, for the possibilities that are waiting to unfold in your life. When you decide to rebuild yourself, it's not enough to just let go of the old. You need to know where you're headed. Developing a vision for your future self is one of the most powerful steps you can take because it's like creating a blueprint for the life you want to live. Without a clear vision, you'll find yourself wandering aimlessly, stuck in the same cycles, repeating the same mistakes, and wondering why nothing is changing. The vision you create is the compass that guides your decisions, your actions, and ultimately your transformation. It gives you something to strive for, a picture of the person you want to become, the life you want to live, the values you want to embody. And developing this vision is not a one-time task. It's a dynamic, evolving process that requires deep introspection, honesty, and imagination. To develop a vision for your future self, you first need to take a step back and reflect on where you are right now. You need to look at your life as it currently stands, acknowledging both the areas that are working and those that aren't. This requires a level of self-awareness that can be uncomfortable at times because it forces you to confront the gap between who you are and who you want to be. But it's in that discomfort where transformation begins. Ask yourself, what does my ideal life look like? Think about every aspect of your existence, your physical health, your mental and emotional well-being, your relationships, your career, your sense of purpose. Imagine the future version of yourself living a life that is fulfilling, balanced, and aligned with your true desires. Start by imagining your future self in vivid detail. What does that person look like? How do they carry themselves? What energy do they exude when they walk into a room? Picture yourself standing tall, radiating confidence, embodying strength and resilience. Picture yourself as the person who has overcome challenges, who has learned from their mistakes, who has risen above their past and created a life that reflects their highest potential. What kind of person are you in the future? Are you someone who is deeply connected to your purpose, someone who lives with intention, someone who is at peace with themselves? These are the questions you need to ask yourself as you develop your vision, because the more clearly you can see your future self, the more motivated you will be to take the steps necessary to become that person. Next, think about the life this future version of yourself is living. What are your daily habits and routines? How do you spend your time? Do you wake up each day with a sense of excitement and purpose? Are you prioritizing your health and well-being? Are you engaging in activities that bring you joy, fulfillment, and growth? Picture yourself living a life that is aligned with your deepest values and desires. Maybe you're working in a career that you're passionate about. Maybe you're surrounded by a community of people who uplift and support you. Maybe you're spending time nurturing your mind, body, and spirit in ways that feel truly nourishing. Developing a vision for your future self means getting specific about the details of your life, the things that will bring you happiness, the things that will challenge you to grow, the things that will make you feel fulfilled on a deep soul level. But this vision isn't just about external changes, it's also about who you are on the inside. Rebuilding yourself means transforming not just your circumstances, but your mindset, your beliefs, your inner world. Who do you want to be mentally and emotionally? Do you want to be someone who is resilient in the face of challenges, someone who trusts themselves and their abilities, someone who doesn't let fear or doubt hold them back? Developing a vision for your future self means imagining the kind of mindset you want to cultivate, the kind of emotional resilience you want to build, the kind of inner strength that will carry you through life's inevitable ups and downs. This future version of yourself is someone who has learned from their past, someone who has grown wiser, stronger, and more compassionate towards themselves and others. As you develop your vision, it's important to focus on the values that will guide your future self. What principles will anchor you in times of uncertainty? What values will define your actions, your decisions, your relationships? Maybe it's integrity, maybe it's kindness, maybe it's perseverance. Whatever those values are, they will serve as the foundation for the life you're building. Developing a vision for your future self means committing to living in alignment with those values, no matter what challenges or obstacles come your way. Your vision is not just about achieving external success or reaching a certain goal. It's about embodying the qualities and values that will make you feel proud of the person you're becoming. When you develop a vision for your future self, it's also important to think about the impact you want to have on the world. Rebuilding yourself isn't just about personal growth, it's about how you can contribute to the lives of others, how you can use your gifts and talents to make a difference. Ask yourself, what kind of legacy do I want to leave behind? Picture yourself as someone who is making a positive impact, someone who is using their strengths to uplift and inspire others. Maybe it's through your work, maybe it's through your relationships, maybe it's through the example you set by living authentically and courageously. Whatever it is, developing a vision for your future self means thinking beyond your own personal desires and considering how you can contribute to the greater good. Developing a vision for your future self is not about perfection, it's about progress. It's about understanding that the person you want to become is not some unattainable ideal, but a version of yourself that is constantly growing, evolving, and learning. It's about recognizing that the vision you create is a guiding light, not a destination. There will be twists and turns along the way, moments of doubt, moments of challenge, but as long as you keep your vision in mind, you will stay on the path to becoming the person you are meant to be. Developing this vision requires patience, it requires self-compassion, and it requires the understanding that growth is a lifelong journey, not a one-time event. Rebuilding yourself is an enormous task, one that can seem overwhelming when you first think about it. You may look at the big picture and feel daunted by the idea of completely transforming your life, of letting go of old habits, of reshaping your mindset, of becoming this new, stronger version of yourself. But here's the truth: all transformation, all growth, all change begins with a single step. It doesn't matter how small that step is, as long as you take it. Starting small doesn't diminish the significance of what you're doing. In fact, it's often the small steps that build the foundation for lasting, meaningful change. And the key is to start now. You don't need to wait for the perfect moment, for the stars to align, for everything in your life to be just right. The perfect time is now. And every moment you delay is a moment you could be using to build the life you desire. Start with the smallest action you can think of, something so simple and easy that you can't possibly talk yourself out of it. Maybe it's getting out of bed 5 minutes earlier each day so you have time to set an intention for your day. Maybe it's choosing to drink an extra glass of water to nourish your body with something so essential and life-giving. Maybe it's writing down one thing you're grateful for every night before you go to bed. These may seem like insignificant actions in the grand scheme of things, but they're not. They're the seeds of change, the small shifts that eventually lead to massive transformation. And when you start small, you give yourself the space to grow without feeling overwhelmed by the enormity of the task in front of you. The beauty of starting small is that it builds momentum. Once you take that first step, no matter how small, it creates a ripple effect. It gives you the confidence to take another step, and then another, and before you know it, you've created a series of positive actions that are moving you in the direction of your vision. It's like a snowball rolling down a hill. What starts as something small and manageable gradually grows into something bigger and more powerful. But none of that happens if you don't take that first step. The power of momentum is real, but it only works if you stop waiting for the perfect conditions and start doing what you can with what you have right now. Think about the goals you have for yourself, the changes you want to make. Maybe you want to get healthier, maybe you want to build better relationships, maybe you want to advance in your career. Whatever it is, it probably feels like a huge mountain to climb, but you don't have to reach the summit all at once. In fact, you can't. Big goals aren't achieved overnight. They're achieved through consistent, small steps taken over time. If you want to get healthier, start by incorporating one healthy habit into your day. Maybe it's going for a 10-minute walk or eating one more serving of vegetables. If you want to improve your relationships, start by reaching out to one person and having a meaningful conversation. If you want to advance in your career, start by dedicating 15 minutes a day to learning a new skill. These small actions may seem trivial, but they're not. They're the building blocks of transformation. Starting small also helps you avoid the trap of perfectionism. So often we get stuck because we feel like we need to have everything figured out before we can begin. We think we need to have the perfect plan, the perfect strategy, the perfect circumstances, and if we don't, we convince ourselves that it's not worth starting at all. But perfection is an illusion, and waiting for it will only keep you stuck in the same place. When you start small, you give yourself permission to be imperfect, to make mistakes, to learn as you go. You don't need to have it all figured out right now, you just need to begin. The path will reveal itself as you move forward, but you have to take that first step to see where it leads. There's also something deeply empowering about starting now, even in the smallest of ways. When you take action, no matter how small, you're telling yourself that you believe in your ability to change. You're telling yourself that you're worthy of the life you want to create, that you have the power to make it happen. And that belief, that inner conviction, is what will carry you through the challenges and setbacks that inevitably come with any process of transformation. Starting now, even in a small way, builds that sense of self-trust, that confidence that you can handle whatever comes your way. It's an act of self-empowerment, of reclaiming your agency, of taking control of your life and your future. And remember, it's not about how fast you move, it's about consistency. Consistency is what creates change, not speed. You don't need to make huge leaps every day, you just need to keep moving forward, little by little, step by step. It's the accumulation of those small, consistent actions over time that leads to real transformation. So don't worry about doing everything at once, don't feel like you need to rush. Just focus on the next small step you can take today, and then take it. Tomorrow, take another, and the day after that, another. Before you know it, you'll look back and realize how far you've come, how much you've grown, how much you've changed, all because you started small and kept going. Starting small also allows you to build habits that stick. When you try to make big changes all at once, it's easy to get overwhelmed, to burn out, to give up when things get tough. But when you start small, you're creating habits that are sustainable, that you can build upon over time. You're laying a solid foundation that will support your growth in the long term. These small actions become part of your routine, part of your identity, and over time they lead to lasting change. And because they're small, they're manageable, they don't require a huge amount of willpower or motivation, which means you're more likely to stick with them, even on the days when you don't feel like it. Starting small also helps you develop patience and persistence, two qualities that are essential for rebuilding yourself. Change doesn't happen overnight, and there will be times when you feel like you're not making any progress, when it seems like all your efforts are in vain. But when you start small, you're building the discipline to keep going even when you don't see immediate results. You're learning to trust the process, to have faith that every small action you take is moving you closer to your vision, even if you can't see it right away. And that patience, that persistence is what will ultimately lead to your transformation. Finally, starting small but starting now allows you to build a sense of momentum and progress that fuels your journey. Each small step you take is a win, a victory, a sign that you're moving in the right direction. And those wins, no matter how small, build your confidence, your belief in yourself, your sense of accomplishment. They remind you that you are capable of change, that you are capable of growth, that you are capable of becoming the person you want to be. And with each win, you become more motivated to keep going, to take the next step, and the next, and the next. And that's how transformation happens, not in giant leaps, but in small, consistent steps taken over time. The journey of rebuilding yourself is deeply personal and often challenging. It's a path filled with moments of self-discovery, growth, and transformation. And while this journey is ultimately about you, one of the most powerful ways to support and accelerate your progress is by surrounding yourself with supportive people. The individuals you choose to have in your life can profoundly impact your ability to overcome obstacles, achieve your goals, and embrace the person you are becoming. They can lift you up, offer guidance, and provide a source of strength and encouragement when you need it most. But creating a supportive environment is not something that happens by chance. It requires intentionality, discernment, and a commitment to fostering relationships that align with your journey. Supportive people are those who believe in you, who cheer you on, who stand by you through the highs and lows of your journey. They are individuals who respect your aspirations, who listen to your struggles, and who celebrate your victories with genuine joy. These people do not judge you for your past mistakes or shortcomings. Instead, they encourage you to learn from them and move forward with renewed determination. They offer a safe space where you can be your authentic self, where you can share your dreams and fears without the fear of criticism or rejection. Surrounding yourself with such individuals means actively seeking out relationships that nurture your growth and well-being, and being willing to distance yourself from those who do not. One of the most important aspects of having supportive people in your life is that they provide emotional support. Rebuilding yourself can be an emotional roller coaster with moments of doubt, fear, and vulnerability. During these times, having people who are empathetic, who offer a listening ear and a compassionate heart, can make all the difference. They can help you process your emotions, provide perspective, and remind you of your strength and resilience. Whether it's a friend who offers a comforting word, a mentor who provides wise counsel, or a family member who simply listens without judgment, their presence can be a source of immense comfort and encouragement. Supportive people also play a crucial role in helping you stay motivated and focused on your goals. They remind you of your progress, celebrate your achievements, and push you to keep going when you feel like giving up. They can offer practical advice, share resources, and provide constructive feedback that helps you refine your strategies and overcome challenges. When you're surrounded by individuals who are invested in your success, you're more likely to stay committed to your goals and persevere through difficulties. Their belief in you reinforces your own belief in yourself, creating a powerful synergy that propels you forward. In addition to emotional support and motivation, supportive people can also offer valuable insights and perspectives. They bring different experiences, knowledge, and viewpoints that can help you see your situation in a new light. They can challenge your assumptions, offer alternative solutions, and help you navigate complex decisions with greater clarity. By surrounding yourself with individuals who are open-minded and perceptive, you gain access to a wealth of ideas and strategies that can enhance your problem-solving abilities and broaden your understanding of your journey. Building a network of supportive people requires intentional effort and discernment. It's important to evaluate your current relationships and consider whether they contribute positively to your growth. Reflect on the dynamics of your interactions. Do they uplift you or do they drain your energy? Are they aligned with your values and goals or do they pull you away from them? Surrounding yourself with supportive people means being honest about these dynamics and making choices that foster your well-being. It may involve seeking out new relationships, joining communities that share your interests and values, or even redefining boundaries with individuals who do not align with your journey. Creating a supportive environment also involves nurturing these relationships with care and reciprocity. Being surrounded by supportive people is a two-way street. It's not just about receiving support, but also about offering it in return. Show appreciation for those who stand by you, be there for them in their times of need, and contribute to a mutually supportive dynamic. Building strong, supportive relationships requires effort, communication, and a willingness to be present for others as they are for you. By fostering these connections, you create a network of support that enriches both your life and the lives of those around you. The process of rebuilding yourself can be a transformative experience, and the people you surround yourself with can significantly influence the outcome. Supportive individuals provide emotional resilience, motivation, valuable insights, and a sense of community that enhances your journey. They create an environment where you can thrive, where your aspirations are nurtured, and where your challenges are met with empathy and encouragement. By actively seeking out and cultivating relationships with supportive people, you invest in a network that strengthens your journey of self-reconstruction, helping you navigate the complexities of change with greater ease and confidence. As you embark on the journey to rebuild yourself, remember that transformation is not an overnight process. It's a continuous evolution, a series of small yet powerful steps that gradually lead you to a new version of yourself. By acknowledging what's broken, you give yourself the opportunity to heal and grow from your past. Releasing the old to make space for the new allows you to create a fresh foundation upon which your future can be built. Developing a vision for your future self helps you chart a clear path forward, providing you with direction and purpose. And starting small, but starting now ensures that you make consistent progress, no matter how incremental. Equally important is the support you gather along the way. Surrounding yourself with supportive people creates an environment where your growth is nurtured, your challenges are met with encouragement, and your successes are celebrated. The journey of rebuilding yourself is one of profound personal growth, but it does not have to be walked alone. The relationships you cultivate and the support you receive play a crucial role in your transformation, providing you with the strength, motivation, and insight you need to move forward. Embrace this journey with patience and compassion, knowing that each step you take, no matter how small, is a step toward becoming the person you are meant to be. Trust in the process, remain committed to your vision, and cherish the supportive people who walk alongside you. Your transformation is not just about the end result, but about the profound personal growth you experience along the way. Each day is an opportunity to rebuild, to renew, and to create a life that reflects your true potential. So take that first step and continue moving forward with courage and confidence, knowing that you have the power to shape your future and become the best version of yourself.